A lot has been happening in these past few weekends. We've been seeing a lot of stuff regarding DC Fandome, a Transformers cartoon that has appeared on Netflix, but we also got plenty of thoughts regarding video games. And there's even a Ren and Stimpy reboot that's coming soon from Comedy Central. Join us for today's episode of the Justus Podcast. Hello everybody, this is me, Quantum Surge, and I'm joined here by my good friends Evie Dog, Fred Flintstone, aka Freds, and Tops26, the Kronk of the server. Let's just say that what we've got here is quite packed, shall we say. Fandom's already got a lot of shit to break down, so we're gonna bring in some sort of timestamps for you, post-production, so you can check those out in the video if you want to go to a particular subject matter. But in the meantime, stick with us. The first topic we've got is DC Fandome, and I'm pretty sure you guys are pumped as hell to discuss that, aren't you?
I mean, not too many things happened. It was just, I don't know.
Pretty lackluster, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I expected a lot better.
I don't really care about that.
Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
No.
I think I know what's missing from that.
They're gonna get confused. The public is gonna get confused. We actually found it. We have to warn it.
Okay.
Truth be told, DC Fandome has a lot that made us very happy. Some stuff could have been a bit present, but overall, we are quite content with the end result.
Yeah. Let's say I was absolutely not underwhelmed. Actually, I needed to take some breaks because it was too much. You know, too many images, artworks, trailers, just it blew my mind.
And the fact that it was in a basically moment devoted to DC, not something like Comic-Con, is just mind-blowing. Sure, it's virtual given the current circumstances, but I gotta give them credit and say that they did an amazing job.
They really did. I was worried it was gonna kind of be like DC Universe, where they just put the app out there without really like fixing it all like how Disney Plus is, but they knew what they were doing.
I forgot DC Universe was even a thing. I mean, I remember the trailer for it. They made it seem like this big thing, but I gotta give credit to Disney Plus because they gave a bit more praise or attention. Even with shit that doesn't even belong there, like The Simpsons. As much as I hate it, at least they give attention to them.
Yeah.
It was just an incredible day, man. Great day yesterday.
And I can't argue with that. Let's break down the first content regarding DC Fandome, that being Black Adam.
Oh, Black Adam? We're starting with Black Adam? Oh, go.
Of course. Gotta start from the smaller stuff to the bigger stuff. I gotta say that Black Adam personally got me a bit worried because I thought we would never see that film in daylight. But I'm very happy to say that at least Fandome itself is very exciting when it comes to the tease that it gave us. Black Adam is going to be with the Justice Society of America, and they pretty much want him to be a part of their team. However, they fail to realize that he's got his own moralities, his way.
Yeah. I really like how they established the basis on all of that. It's pretty clear, and Dwayne Johnson did a great job. Just explain all.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, Dwayne really surprised me. He really knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I thought they just casted him because he was The Rock, but it sounds like he really does know the character. And
man.
Yeah, it feels like he's proper. He's a proper person to.
Yeah,
normally. Character.
Normally, Dwayne
like
Johnson.
He is.
I mean, Black Adam is going to be an important character if this whole DC thing really takes off. I mean, you got the next Shazam movie coming, and I mean, everybody knows that eventually there's going to be that showdown between him and Shazam. And I think that's what they're building towards. And I'm liking how they're taking their time with it and not just rushing it out of the gate because they appreciate how important of a villain Black Adam is.
True.
Yeah. Personally, I didn't really need Black Adam's actor, The Rock, to be an exact comic nerd. But I appreciate the fact that he's got a lot of passion for it, and that's what matters a lot. That there's passion for the project. and not just trying to appeal to the comic book nerds. But like, yeah, The Rock, he's showing that he's more than just some sort of big action star, but he's also got a lot of passion for something that's based on an IP. And I gotta give him a lot of praise for that, personally.
Yeah.
No, I was completely amazed, actually. And all the build up to it, because it was very marketing driven at the end of the day. You know, the last few days we had a lot of speculation and stuff, and I didn't expect so much to be shown. And they basically introduced all the characters. They have shown all their passion. I'm actually very impressed.
Yeah, I mean,
same.
I also gotta give The Rock a lot of praise for his suit. I mean, even though it's just a similar black recolor of the Shazam suit, it looks a lot nicer than a Shazam suit, which looks a little cheap and a little flat.
Yeah, let's try not to trash the other one, but I agree absolutely. I mean, if you compare the both of them, it looks absolutely cheap. Sorry, but
Well, you know what to say? Things look better in black.
That's true.
Yeah, who did he said Boss Logic did those like animations, right?
Yeah.
Those were pretty good, I gotta say.
Wow.
For not having any footage.
I gotta say though, it is kind of funny to see people still like rip him apart, because Boss Logic, well, he may be a lot more mainstream than most artists, but people tend to treat him with a lot of meme material for how he does stuff.
Yeah, I don't get the haters for any of them.
I think he's really good in my opinion, but I mean, he gets so much hate. I don't get where it comes from.
He represents the geek culture by his own way, and I like it. It's
True.
good.
Yeah, I mean, anytime there was like a rumor or something of like a cast, he would always like then do a picture of that cast person and as that character. Like Tom Cruise, he did as Green Lantern that one time.
There's also an image that there is The Rock, like Luke Cage.
Yeah, that's right.
A long time ago.
Well, to give Boss Logic some credit, at least he's not the people behind those posters from the Pooh's Adventures Wiki.
Well, there are some stretches, but I like him a lot.
I appreciate that. Anyways, next up we got ourselves another film, that being Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat and kind of feel that it was okay, the second trailer. You know, the background music was nowhere near as pumped as I was anticipating, but it was not too bad. There's certain things I kind of like about it.
I mean, I gotta say, it was a better trailer than the first, but it really just looks like a run-of-the-mill superhero movie, kind of, I think. I don't know what's gonna be super special. I mean, I gotta say, Cheetah, she didn't look too bad.
Oh, yes.
I was really surprised.
At least she was not just a furry Mystique.
Exactly, right?
She's essentially Mystique.
Thank God.
With a fur texture, basically.
But it looks like also they're gonna make their way to that throughout the film. Like, she's gonna start in like the cheetah outfit, and like she's gonna progress into that whole cheetah character at the end of the movie with the big showdown, which we saw from the trailer.
I think, judging by the way Wonder Woman is going up against Cheetah, this should be called Wonder Woman v DeviantArt instead of Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh crap. We're going there. Okay. Let's just say, previously, Jason Momoa was the biggest furry in the DC universe, and now Cheetah's totally taking his place.
How is he a furry? Isn't he like a fish guy?
Nah, he has too much hair.
That should make him a hairy then.
Should have been Lobo. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool as Lobo, but I'm happy with him as Aquaman.
No, he totally owned it.
Yeah, he was badass.
He made Aquaman cool. I mean,
yeah, that's all that matters.
In a way,
Make him cool. Make him cool and make him worthwhile.
Like I don't know if you guys seen the old Justice League cartoon, the animated one, but that was the Aquaman. I was like, if they could just do that, it would be perfect. And then they like, boom, there you go.
Just remove a hand and we will be alright.
Yeah, right. Like I hope in the second one he might lose it and get the hook for a hand. Who knows?
And I want practical effects. Just get rid of the hand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the movie's gonna be like horror themed, but well, I just hope we get ourselves a yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make like a G major version of Ocean to Ocean.
Okay.
And I just realized we're talking about Aquaman instead of Wonder Woman 1984. But yeah, Wonder Woman 1984, decent. I may not watch it in the first day it comes out, but people like it. I might give it a shot.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'll wait to see what the reviews are like. But
not just reviews, again, but like what my friends think, because reviews will most likely mean Rotten Tomatoes scores and all that.
I haven't heard of Rotten Tomatoes in a while. I actually forgot about it, so I'm glad.
I mean, there's no movies coming out anymore.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Nothing to review.
Nope.
Fuck Rotten Tomatoes, man.
Bullshit
side.
Here's something that they got to review instead. Their shopping lists.
It's just everybody bases like a movie off of Rotten Tomatoes now, and it's just like should not be the case.
Yeah, it's cringe.
Yeah.
They keep receiving validation. It's so
I know.
Yep, can argue with that.
But either way, we got our 80 years of Wonder Woman, which was quite nice, and we got Lena Carter also in the panel.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool to see her.
Yeah.
I got a nice way to see her again.
Okay, I just find one thing funny. That right after the Wonder Woman panel, we got Walter Hamada and I think Jim Lee talking, and in one moment they make a comment about furries. So I just can't let that pass.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're bringing up the furry conversation.
I must have missed that one. No way.
Yeah. Oh, Walter Hamada, I had no idea you were in a DeviantArt fetish.
Wait, I'm actually not sure if it was Walter Hamada or Jim Lee. I'm doubting it.
Oh man.
But the multiverse, that's the multiverse. Be ready.
Yeah. I just hope we don't have to hear another bit of a DeviantArt fetish from him again.
God, please no.
No, we already have one fetishist in the DC universe, and we don't want him anymore. His name is Joss Whedon. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, fuck Joss Whedon.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. Okay, what else we got to talk about? And it's Suicide Squad versus Justice League, or Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
True.
Yeah.
One of two video games we got.
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, I thought it was like a continue of the Justice 2 game, because there's
It's the same graphics, right?
Yeah,
It looks like the same animation.
Yeah, but then when you see Harley Quinn, it's like, okay, I don't think this is going to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
clearly the Harley voice from the Arkham games too. So.
Yeah. True.
And I pointed this out yesterday, but they say it's set in the Arkham universe, but the whole Deadshot thing, I mean, that's a little bit of a plot hole, but I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Help me catch on.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Was there any confirmation that any other heroes besides Batman exist in the Arkhamverse? I lost track.
I'm pretty sure Superman does. I know, maybe not. I remember in Arkham Knight, if you go into Wayne Tower, you get like a call from Luthor on the voicemail, but you always see like Easter eggs. Like there's like billboards that say like, oh, Coast City, and it's like, oh, so there are Green Lanterns there or something, but there's never been any real confirmation, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of strange also. It's like they present us the Justice League now with this Suicide Squad games. okay. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I feel like it's just gonna be Injustice again, but instead of it's just the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and again, it's Brainiac too. Like, I don't know. Again, they said 2022, so there's a lot of time before that game comes out. But
I wouldn't worry too much.
At first, I thought the 2022 is a little too far away, but it's actually not. Like, we're relatively close to 2021, and
that is true.
Plus, I believe the game had recent development, whereas the next game we'll talk about was in development for a bit of a longer time, and is coming out next year. And that game itself is Gotham Knights.
I'm finally just happy that this game is out there and exists, because there's been so many rumors about it.
True.
For so long. And I gotta say, some of the rumors ended up being partially true, where Court of the Owls, Batman is apparently dead, and even Damian Wayne aspect where you play as him.
Yeah, that's what I like about the game, is that you're not just Batman, or no longer Batman, but are playing as other characters, which
I'm
each
so happy
have their
about
own
that.
assets. Like, they don't feel like repeats. They all have their own purpose, and that's what I like in video games with multiple characters.
Well,
like Arkham Knight had it a little bit, and I think they're just jumping off from what Arkham Knight did with the little side mission stories, but now it's like you only play as these characters and you can switch from them. I'm just psyched to play as Red Hood. Oh my god. I've always
Red Hood,
was really awesome.
I'm so excited about that.
We got Robin, we got Red Robin, Nightwing,
and Batgirl.
I
guess
good.
So this must not be related to the Arkhamverse then. This is separate. Or unless this is connected to Origins, because Origins, they don't count it as part of the trilogy, but I don't know. It's also confusing.
Let's wait. Let's wait until they show the game and, how it works.
Well, at least it's got similar aesthetics to it, first and foremost, but we'll see. We just got the tip of the iceberg so far, and I can't wait to see more from it.
Yeah, the gameplay looks like real fun.
Yeah, the gameplay was incredible.
I agree. I wonder how it would look on 60 frames per second, though.
Yeah, you said that.
You could tell something wasn't completely finished yet. It didn't flow right.
Yeah, I've seen most videos on YouTube of the Arkham games where it's all 30 FPS. And maybe I'm just a 60 FPS guy, but when you add 60 frames per second, it makes a difference for video games.
It's coming out in 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So PS5 will be, so then they'll have all the new stuff as well.
Yes, sir.
True.
I'm sure. Okay. So it'll probably run pretty nice.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I was also excited about how there's going to be like a bunch of like the whole Mr. Freeze thing, like that's just one of the side missions, and they're going to be there's going to be way more of those. And then the Court of the Owls, I think, was a good choice as well. I'm very curious to see what they'll do with that.
I concur with that statement. I just hope that they feel prominent, and they're not like a last minute addition, or they don't feel like they were there just to get some hype. Like, I want the antagonist to feel prominent in the game.
I don't want what happened in Arkham Origins with Black Mask, when it turned out it was just the Joker the entire time, to be what happens in this game.
Yeah, those are pure dick tease. I mean, honestly, on par with how Black Mask was treated in BOP.
Exactly. They treat my boy Black Mask so bad.
True. Black Mask, man. I think the only right version was in the Red Hood movie, and he was actually cut out mostly because if you read the comic, it's more.
Yeah, the comic is way different.
Yeah.
Shafted
again,
he was shafted in the game and then shafted in the movie.
My boy doesn't get a rest.
He's so.
Black Mask is the Waluigi of the Batman universe, essentially.
I also hear that this game is maybe kind of a service game like the Avengers one, but I'm not really sure because I don't understand very well. It's like you can play alone, but then with your friends.
Yeah, they said they wanted to do co-op.
Oh yeah.
I remember them. Yeah.
However
And
they
I
do
gotta-
co-op, I just hope that it runs well, because some multiplayer ends up dripping the frame rates or make things a little sluggish. I just hope they make it nice and fine-tuned, and hopefully there's no ugly split screen.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
quite difficult.
That's gonna be. I wonder if it's online co-op or like co-op like right next to like you're playing right next to the other person.
We'll see how it turns
Yeah.
out. I think
Yeah.
like local co-op works well because it's nowhere near as big as something like an online game like Fortnite or Team Fortress 2
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Halo
Yeah.
or Mario Kart, where people from around the world can be in the same room, in the same level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be if it is like that, I'd be impressed. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I also want dick content.
Dick content.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, you can play as Nightwing as well. I mean, that's awesome.
I can raid cocks peacefully. Wait, no,
Okay.
dick. Sorry.
Dick.
You're supposed to rate cocks. Nice cock. Hey, nice cock.
Hey,
There we
that's
go.
my job.
Okay, and we're about to lose track, so I guess the next we're going to talk about is the Batman.
The Batman?
The Batman.
Batman.
Yes,
Oh,
the
The
Batman.
fucking
I gotta say, I was very pleased with that trailer. I don't know about you guys, but
I gotta say personally that
yeah, go on.
like I don't mind it now with what's
You don't mind?
for the other
Yeah,
guy.
right.
Yeah,
It really looks like it can be something special. I think.
like there's certain things
Yeah,
about it that I
that's true.
appreciate, like the detective nature of the film itself, as well as the suit not looking too bad. But overall, I don't mind it. Though I will say there are certain things about it that kind of make me chuckle a bit.
For example?
Yeah.
The last scene where Bruce takes the cowl off and he's got the sort of emo look to him.
Oh.
Yeah, he does look really
Peter
emo
Parker
in this
vibes.
movie.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker was smooth in Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god.
Like
He also
Robert,
looks like. He also
Like-
looks like Gerard Way from MTR.
he looks like Snape, if you know what I mean.
I was just surprised at just the way the trailer opened, honestly. The fact that they're taking the Riddler, who most people see as like a joke villain if you're not like wicked into the comics, but like
Yeah.
you guys know, he's like
He's
like
amazing.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I've
pretty-
said for so long that they should just like do like the Arkham Riddler, like have him do these like
Yeah.
weird trap rooms, and it looks like they're like doing like a Saw type Riddler in this movie. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, like,
He's
Yeah,
damn
man.
psychotic. He's
Yeah.
damn psychotic. He's crazy.
Like this
I
is
wanna
gonna be
see-
the
Yeah.
Riddler that gets pissed off when Batman like beats him in anything. He's gonna lose his shit.
Dude, Paul Dano is perfect. Have you guys seen Prisoners?
no.
The movie?
Oh my god, dude!
Fill us in with the info, please.
I mean,
Such it,
holy fuck. He's
it's
the ideal person.
yeah, exactly. After watching that movie, because I didn't know who he was when he was first cast, and then I watched that movie, and I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't that bad after all.
After
I
what we
don't-
got with the Riddler from Batman Forever, it's very interesting to see what we'll get from this new guy.
Exactly, and I feel like that's how most
Yeah.
people see the Riddler is from Batman Forever, because that's our only incarnation. That's the big, well-known incarnation we have of him. Unless you talk
Yeah,
about
we
the
can carry.
60s.
Yeah, the 60s
Or
version.
the Gotham
Well,
TV show.
See,
Oh, yeah.
Gotham
Yeah.
is another good example. Gotham, I thought, did Riddler really well. I liked how they did the whole split personality thing. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
yeah, he worked quite well, I'd say.
But just everything Matt Reeves was saying too, before even the trailer released, it just seems like how he's making it a detective story. Bruce has been Batman a year and a half. Like, not everyone trusts him still. He's not the symbol of hope that we all know him to be yet. I think that's just a really like there's a story to tell there.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it like say that the origin story part did get me worried because I was honestly expecting it to be Batman Begins 2021, but I can see there's a bit of originality still.
Exactly, that's what I was concerned about, but it really does. So I have.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go on. I'll wait. You go.
It's like we're going to see like the beginning of every villain that Batman has. It's like I can say that the guy with that mask at the beginning was the Riddler. Is the Riddler?
Yeah, he has to be.
On his early beginning, it's like I like how they see it. Like I love the costumes, all the Catwoman with that mask. It's like
Zoe Kravitz.
Catwoman's mask reminds you of like Spidey's wrestling outfit. The one I saw, part of me like cracked up and was making me think like she was about to say, "I need to sign up for a cage match." Imagine Robert Pattinson saying like, "You're going nowhere. It's just you and me in 3 minutes of playtime."
Oh no! Cancel that now.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest thing about that trailer was just that one scene where he just beat the shit out of that one guy.
Yeah.
It just looked so good. It just looked so good.
All the Batman doesn't kill dorks out there are going to start pissing themselves angry about this.
I know, right? He's so brutal. Like, the guy literally was crying in the back after seeing that.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy is okay. Don't worry.
Yeah,
he's fine, guys. He's fine.
Yeah.
Like, he just got a little boo-boo.
Yeah.
My man Riddler likes duct tape.
Yeah, no shit, apparently.
Yeah, he's got a duct tape fetish.
Yep.
Very interesting to see what he'll do with that.
Yeah,
there was in the
really
trailer, they have
trailer.
where he crashed into the big, I don't know what it was, but like, and then the guy was holding something on his hand because it was duct taped. Like, I'm guessing it was a bomb probably or something.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I was very pleased with that trailer, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
It also feels like his beginning because it's like he's standing right there with, okay, what I'm going to do. It's like he don't have all that experience that maybe an older Batman could do, like more easier.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
He's still new at this. Like, these are probably like the first type of real supervillains he's gonna be facing. He's probably just been taking on like petty crime. This is like gonna be new for him.
Yes.
I'm very excited. And
Just 2 years in. 2 years in.
2 years. Yeah, true. But I also hear that the man who sorry. Continue.
Are you okay?
What?
Fred died.
Fred's dead.
Track again, guys. Like, yeah, the Batman.
I'm really excited, guys. Sorry. I'm really excited.
One more thing, you guys. I don't know if this is a long shot, but after seeing that trailer, and if the movie from that trailer, I got the tone of this movie. It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be like a real down to earth tale. I think it reminded me a lot of the tone of Joker almost.
Oh, really?
I can see that, though I will say that whereas this is more like typical dark, gritty stuff. Like Joker had a bit of like style to it. Like
and I've
the trailer music was different from this. Like it's pretty emo and like sinister. And, Batman, whereas the Joker had like this classic song that played in the background.
They called Zack Snyder the Edgelord.
But
I think they were
Reeves
wrong.
is twice as edgy. But whereas Batman is emo dark, the Joker is more so
classic.
Like classic. Like it's sort of a old film, like there's an homage to older stuff. And the background music for the trailer after the Smile song played, that gave me like some serious old-fashioned vibes as well.
I mean, yeah, you got the Smile song playing, and then he just does that one laugh, and it's just like, oh, that's
Those trailers were
spine-tingling. Oh, it's
masterpieces.
chill. He just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so gross.
I used to saw the first trailer from Joker because I didn't really want to see too much. It happens to me also with the Wonder Woman trailer. Okay, I'm really excited about this. But I don't want to see nothing until I can see it in
Fair enough.
cheerfully.
Yeah.
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 For
See how it
Batman.
turns out.
But I see all the trailers in the DC Fandome. I'm sorry. I see everything.
I mean, we've gone
anything.
so long
It's like-
without anything
Yeah.
from DC. They had to
Yeah.
do something sooner or later.
Yeah, especially considering we don't know how long it'll take for them to show up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They
and
have
speaking
these
of-
releases, but will
And-
they stay the same? That depends on the
speaking-
world.
And speaking of the world and staying the same and showing up in time, we've got the Flash.
Flash.
Yeah, I mean,
Flash.
I didn't expect much from this panel, but at least we got the cool artwork, so that was good. And
Yeah,
that's definitely Michael Keaton's Batman, so
For sure.
Ooh.
I'm still worried
Yeah.
about like what will happen with JDM because I would love to see him show up at some point.
JDM?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
actor
hope
that
so.
portrayed Thomas Wayne in BVS.
Oh, yes, Jeffrey
Oh,
They
Dean.
could
Oh,
fair
okay,
enough,
okay.
like JDM needs to be there. I think.
I agree.
It's
Let's
like-
hope that, bro. Let's
If
hope
they're
that.
going like a Flashpoint route, they have to have like they just can't not
Yeah.
have it.
Like,
Yeah.
no
I feel
disrespect to Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton. He helped
Yeah,
me get even
exactly.
more hyped for the DC stuff, like a year before Batman v
Yeah.
Superman came out. But like, I feel like Michael Keaton's there just so they can try and get the nostalgia types interested in this movie.
Yeah, again with Michael Keaton was a good bat. It's just that seems like a really long time ago. And now bringing him back now, I get what they're trying to do, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's just if they're different, like times, like those old Batman movies, they're good, but like they also have like a campiness to them. They're not like the Batman movies people know nowadays, like The Dark Knight or like BVS, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I honestly, like, it makes me wonder, like, why he wasn't in the CW shit, the
Oh, yeah.
Crisis
Yeah,
on Infinite Everything.
Yeah, no, yeah. He should have. There was actually a newspaper article
Yeah.
where it said like he married Selena Kyle, Michelle
Mhm.
Pfeiffer's Catwoman. So that was interesting, but
Yeah, so it makes you wonder how
I-
that'll be canon with the Birds of Prey TV show that was released in 2003.
Dude,
Yeah.
how the fuck do you remember that?
that's right.
Yeah.
They included
Well-
that in Crisis on Infinite Earth. It was
Well,
one
let's
of the
just
Earths
say,
that
like,
got wiped out.
Like, for me at least, let's just say that I learned about it when I was looking up a lot of Batman and Superman stuff before the BVS came out.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But yeah, not much to say on Flash. We really don't know that much still. They like just finished writing the script apparently, so
Yeah, I just want to theorize on one thing. I think for Flash to arrive to the right timeline, he had to travel a lot. So maybe
Yeah.
there's the reason why he appears with the other Flash, you know, with Grant Gustin.
Yeah, but also, yeah, but for me it feels like something strange because if he's like finding like alternative, what is that?
Timeline, yeah.
Yeah.
On the timeline, yeah, it's like okay, but he's not worried. He's not like okay, where am I? He's like okay, where is this?
He's like,
What-
oh my god!
True.
Oh
I
my
don't know,
god! Oh my god, you're
but maybe-
Flash!
yeah. I mean, I feel like when they did it on the CW thing, it was just like, oh, look at that. This is the Flash the Flash from the actual DC movies
Yeah. And
they
crossing
made,
over
like, the
with the
typical-
TV show Flash.
And
This
they
is a
made that
big thing.
typical, like, oh my god, your suit! Oh my god, your suit too!
Yeah, I think it was just for like shock value. I don't think it really means anything. Honestly, I watched the entire Crisis on Infinite Earth and it really was not that good. I really thought it would be better than it was, but I preferred the other crossover better.
All the bands from CW are awful, and I dare to watch them every single time just to give it an opportunity, and they are awful. I'm sorry, I have to say.
I stuck with it for so goddamn long, and I'm finally realizing it's not good anymore. It sucks because it was really good in the beginning. They had something, but then they did all this like team shit, and it lost what made them special. Like Arrow, Flash, those were good in their first seasons, but then Team Flash, Team Arrow, it just lost. I think, right? I don't know.
I feel like the Dino team up in Power Rangers Beast Morphers is going to be more exciting than this.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
Yeah, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on that later in the year when the show's over or that season's over. But yeah, Flash, whatever they're going to do, I just hope that the Muschettis, is that how you pronounce their name?
Yeah, Muschietti.
Muschettis and this Christina Hudson person, I hope they know what they're doing, because we've been waiting for a Flash movie for so goddamn long, and I hope it's not mid-tier.
I agree, and if Reverse Flash is gonna be the villain, I really hope they do him right, because he's a really good villain. He's really become a much better villain as these comics have come out. They've just added more and more depth to him. Just the fact that he wanted to be Barry, and then
he's more than just a yellow Flash that's evil.
Exactly, and that's what he used to be, but now
It makes you wonder, though. There's like a red Flash, and Reverse Flash is yellow. Where's the green Flash, and where's the purple Flash?
We're talking about this.
Still haven't
not the Power Rangers.
No, not Power Rangers. Mario and Wario. Like, where's the Luigi equivalent of Flash?
We need all the different colors of Flash.
Yeah.
Flash became
green Flash,
black Flash.
Luigi.
No.
Reverse Flash is Wario, and the purple Flash is Waluigi.
That can be Iris's Flash. When she got the powers, oh my god, she ran with purple lightning.
Walu-Iris.
New season of the Flash. Flash is gonna fight against the God Ultra Lord Speed, but there's a new speedster there. Oh my god, even faster. That's basically always the Flash.
It really
speedster. Faster.
I can't wait for the CW.
That's literally the exact premise of the show.
I can't wait for the CW verse to give us Sonic the Hedgehog for the 2020 movie.
Yo, him and Flash racing.
Yeah,
they already did it with Supergirl.
Sonic wins.
Sonic easily wins. Sonic's Flash and Sonic's nothing on Flash.
Yep. And that pretty much covers the Flash. Next? We're about to lose track, so wasn't there something that was very exciting? Something that broke the internet? There's a CNN commercial. Let's talk about that. First of all, CNN, they gotta get their marketing done. But no, I'm just kidding. We got one last thing regarding the DC Fandome stuff to talk about, and that is the Snyder Cut.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
gotta say,
where do we begin with this?
Baller move, showing Darkseid. First thing.
First fucking.
Zach just knows what we want to see, and he's not bullshitting us anymore. He's just like, here you go. Yeah. You guys know what the movie's about.
Have it in action.
It's like, I just need that movie now, honestly. It sucks that we still have to wait.
Exactly.
So much.
What's there to, what's coming next in the theaters? I know New Mutants is coming soon.
Tenet. That was supposed to.
Yeah, certain cities will get it. Hopefully, I get to see it, but who knows at this point.
It's releasing internationally first instead of in the US. That's pretty cool.
And hopefully we get to talk about that soon.
I am very excited to see that one.
Correct.
I'm a big Christopher Nolan guy.
And back to the Snyder Cut. There's a lot that we got to break down. Aside from
all right. Yeah, someone start us off.
Aside from Darkseid, we got in scenes that were from the previs reel where they, like, before they added in all the visuals, they had scenes like Barry Allen rescuing Iris.
Yep.
Got
That was
I'm in love with Kiersey
supposedly-
Clemens already. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm nice that she's in the movie.
we got cyborg scenes, like him limping.
Oh my god, already Cyborg just looks so much more interesting and better. Just
Dude,
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
he's just
it
emotional.
blows my
guy.
mind how
Absolutely.
ass he was in Justice League.
Yeah, like,
It's
he was,
like, he
like,
was
he was
just
barely
so-
contributing in that film, sadly.
I know, and it clearly was not Zach's vision. Zach says
Yeah.
time and time again that he's the heart of the movie, and watching
course.
his father die, like, I mean, right then and there, I see that. Can totally see.
Yeah,
how
when
that-
you saw,
Yeah, like,
you
whereas
saw
most
him in the
people,
trailer, you
whereas
feel
most
that.
amateurs, like, ignore Cyborg when they demand for, like, representation of color, like, we know Cyborg matters in this movie.
Cyborg is going to be so important,
Yeah.
especially with the mother boxes.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
talking
And the
about
fact that he's got,
Cyborg,
like, a
Yeah.
similar situation to Batman and Superman, where he loses a loved one.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
talking about Cyborg, I hope they do what Doom Patrol didn't have the balls to do. And if someone watched that, Cyborg was like being treated so well up until the end, and I just hope they go full in with that in the Snyder Cut, literally, because
I'm sure
Cyborg
they
is so
will.
rich of a character. He's so good.
Oh.
In Doom Patrol, you thought Cyborg was treated well until the end?
Yeah. And then the second season, it was underwhelming.
Interesting. I only watched the first season
Okay.
of Doom Patrol so far, but okay.
I ain't watched
too.
jack shit with Doom Patrol. But, like, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure Cyborg will get a lot of respect
What
in the
if-
Snyder Cut.
What I'm going to say is like, yeah. Well, what I was going to say is like, when you saw him on the trailer, you feel he is like, well, I don't know. It's like you feel that he's the hero of the movie,
Yeah.
bro. I was like,
It's ridiculous that, like,
Yeah.
all this stuff wasn't even in the Justice League we
Yeah.
got. Like, no football
Yeah.
scenes. He's
No
just
football.
immediately
Yeah.
Cyborg.
No scenes of, like, him, like observing the history. No mother box stuff aside from the last bit. Nothing that's really natural with his father.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
How do you screw that up?
bro.
Well, ask Joss Whedon.
And Jeff
Johns and John
Fucking
Berg.
Yeah, ugh, Jesus.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Like, I'm
It's
super
just-
excited to have this
bro.
movie. I mean, it's more
From
than
that, yeah,
like
from that
trailer
trailer
was,
alone.
that trailer was more than just stuff like epic tones or the typical we gotta do this together. Like, it was mostly silent aside from the music, and that choice of music was pretty good. It was more
It did what it needed
What's
to do.
amazing,
Zach
bro.
said it was a teaser trailer, and that's exactly, I think, what a teaser trailer
Yeah.
is. He showed us scenes from the movie, and the music, surprisingly, I thought did really fit well with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
It was not
Like,
some
again,
sort of stock.
they-
It was like not some sort of stock generic background music that you find in trailers nowadays. It's an actual
Exactly.
song,
Yeah,
and it feels humble. It feels human. It feels like they want to come together and do the right thing.
Exactly,
It
man.
just,
yeah.
even the look of
Mhm.
it already, like, that's a Snyder movie. Like,
Well,
yeah.
it
dude,
looks so
you
much
feel that.
better. It really
agree.
pisses me off so much that was just so much
bro,
change.
bro. When I saw Amy Adams looking up in the sky,
Yeah,
bro,
Freddy was
I really want to cry. I really want to cry. I really wanted to cry, man.
Dude, when he had
He's like,
both
the
his
fucking
mom
hug.
and her in the field
Bro.
hugging them,
Yeah.
so good.
No more itchy stuff. No more big guns garbage. No more
Bro,
that
it's like-
stupid,
yeah, it's
awful, retarded,
Bro,
gone,
yeah.
bad, ugly, horrible, thirsty line.
No more. No more, man.
No Superman
Bro.
saying
the
"Do
30th
bleed."
woman.
Yeah, I hate that so
I couldn't
much.
believe it.
It's
Yeah,
and
man.
then I
It's like-
mean, just the look of Steppenwolf already too. I can't get over it. How much
And
better?
Of course, yeah.
It's just like he actually looks
a little more.
menacing.
Yeah, like, he doesn't
Yeah.
look like some sort of rando guy that's just there seeing stuff like mother.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's all he was. It's like it's the exact same scene from the Justice League we got, where he just opens the boom tube and then is in like the vault on Themyscira, and like you watch that in Justice League and you're like, all right, and then you see it here, and just already his look is so much more menacing, and you get like why this guy is like, he's clearly a force to be reckoned with. He ain't some pushover who just says a couple words over and over again.
And then he gets like embarrassingly taken down by an ugly-faced Superman that says something like, I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice," with some boring-ass Superman 1978 remix.
Oh, man.
It's
No, thanks.
it's good to know that this is finally happening, and that it's like we weren't wrong. Most people were saying, "Oh, it's going to be the same thing," and it's clearly not going to.
Of course not. Like, there's more to it. Like, okay, I can understand people saying that with Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman.
Yes,
but
that's
this,
fair.
I don't buy it whatsoever. Like, this is like...
This is 4 hours long!
Of course!
I mean, it's literally an hour, 4 episodes, each an hour long, and then he's gonna bundle it together. Like...
Preach.
The man is a god. I don't know what else to say.
I just hope we get to see a physical release at some point, because I want to have one to go along with my Blu-ray Man of Steel and Batman v Superman copies.
Bro.
Yeah, he did say that. He said they're going to work on physically releasing it as well. So
hopefully there are no scalpers, because I hate scalpers.
God. Yeah.
If I see it in stores, I'm gonna pick it up.
And bro, one of my favorite parts of the trailer was seeing Flash. It's like when you saw that part, it's like we all the fans know what he's going to do, and it feels like very, very exciting. You know, finally getting all that Speed Force stuff.
Yeah, just his bewilderment of when he's I'm guessing that scene is him in the Speed Force and like just him like looking around at it and trying to figure it's all new.
Like this guy, like this, there's so much potential with him, and the fact that like it was cut out was just insulting.
Yeah, I know. All we got was he's basically comic relief of the movie. That's all Flash was in Justice League. I mean,
it's
whatever.
And he fell in on.
Let's have him fall on Wonder Woman's boobs. It'll be so funny.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not at all,
man.
No, not at all.
No, bro.
Exactly.
No,
fuck that shit.
Not even ironically funny. It's just. It's not like the Dostoevsky.
Like a character like Wonder Woman demands respect, and and I would never.
And that just ruins everything that she's done.
I'll never treat her like that. I mean, she's a character that I would look up to as much as I would Batman and Superman.
I mean, it's like you go from the scene in Wonder Woman when she's goes over the trenches and is in no man's land, and then you get that in Justice League. Like,
bro,
what? Even beforehand, Batman v Superman, we got a lot of great stuff for her in BVS. Whether she's Diana Prince meeting Bruce Wayne for the first time, or when she's in the action helping out the other guys.
Yeah, man, that explains why Patty Jenkins once liked, a tweet about Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
That explains it, because he was so disrespectful towards Wonder Woman, the character, and also Gal Gadot. I even picture Gal Gadot talking to Patty about this. It's so awful.
Yeah, and now they're gonna get investigated by Warner Media. Jeff Johns.
Ray finally tweeted that out.
Will this mean we'll ever get to see the three getting crushed by a conveyor belt? I don't think so. But I'm still happy that justice has finally been served, pun intended, with Zack Snyder's Justice League. And real quick, I just want to thank RT Snyder Cut and the likes of Fiona Zhang for
Yeah,
bringing
huge
attention
props
to
to
this.
Fiona.
The end of a cycle, man. Seeing Fiona there,
That was awesome.
you know,
Major props to you, Fiona. I'm not sure if you'll be seeing this video, but I gotta give you a lot of respect for bringing life into the Snyder Cut movement. I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of like good times and bad times in the fandom, especially with stuff like the lack of an announcement on March 25th, 2019, or the arguments people make with one another. But RT Snyder Cut, I gotta give you a lot of praise for being a big page that has brought in a lot of attention. And I gotta give many thanks to Fiona for exposing me to the Snyder Cut movement.
I know, I hate to say it, but I wasn't really a part of this whole Snyder Cut movement till maybe a year ago. I rewatched the movies and I totally had a come around change on BVS, and I was like, oh my god. And then I watched Justice League and I'm just like, what is this?
Exactly.
And it's like, she did all this work. Even when like it seemed lost and like a lost cause, they kept going, and it just goes to show you that like eventually anything can happen. I mean, we're getting it. It's happening.
And it's not just her we gotta thank, but also the people involved with all the charity work.
Yeah.
Subway, with feeding people, or the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. You gotta give a lot of respect to them as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Of course.
Like, most people on the internet prefer to just say that they want change, but they don't do a damn thing about it. The Snyder Cut movement, once again, gotta give a lot of praise to them. They've done a lot of great stuff with suicide prevention, as well as feeding people by helping Subway. And that's how you do it. It's more than just letters, but it's also taking action and helping others, showing that you want to make others feel happy by taking action instead of saying shit.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys had done this yet, but if you guys can go to inktothepeople.com and grab one of the new Snyder Cut shirts or sweatshirts, and you can also leave a donation for the charity. So it's really nice. Honestly, I tried to get on the website for so long yesterday, and I couldn't. It literally kept crashing. It was ridiculous. I can't believe
broke down.
It was.
I hope it's still up.
So long.
But like, that shirt, as nice as it is, I gotta say, I want that symbol to be on a poster. I don't want to ruin the shirt. It's too nice looking to be stained.
I know, right? And I just love on the back of it. It says associate producer, like, because we're part of how this movie got. That's just awesome.
And I fucking cry again.
Like, it's so good.
We're not gonna judge it, Tom, so you can cry.
It's just so nice.
But yes, many thanks to Fiona, RT Snyder Cut, the people involved with feeding those that are hungry with Subway, and the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. I also want to give major thanks to Zach for never giving up and encouraging us to keep fighting for the cuts.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what's next after this. I don't know if we're gonna get
just
Justice League too soon, or if we're gonna get like anything else with Superman, or any new stuff outside of the JL with Batfleck. But whatever we get, I hope it's worthwhile. And that wraps up the fandom stuff. Now we're gonna move on to the next subject matter, that being the new Transformers cartoon that popped up on Netflix. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this yet, but to share my thoughts first, I was not a fan.
You were not a fan?
See, the thing is, with the cartoon itself, is that it tries to be like this G1 but dark and mature thing that sort of rolls my eyes, because if you want to make something that's dark and gritty, make it interesting. Like, some of the stuff we talked about that was dark and gritty a while back, I think all that was pretty interesting, because there is a lot that goes on. It's not just words.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When you add elements, but you don't complement them with other things, like an interesting plot line, or basically the essence of the original creation, you're just gonna get another bastardation, like a bastard child. That's what
like one in War for Cybertron with a good story.
Yeah.
Like, there's been plenty of media from the Transformers franchise that's been worthwhile to me because of the story and the characters that kept me interested. War for Cybertron fails because its characters seem dull, the story itself feels repetitive, and the style is so flat. Like, let's cover the
animation
story first.
style.
Yeah, we'll cover that in a bit, but let's talk about the story first.
Sure.
Okay, so the Decepticons have won against the Autobots. The Autobots need to find a way to stop them, and it's honestly on par with the tone of Fantastic, which I don't think you guys like Fantastic. I mean, I don't.
Oh boy.
But like, the characters try to find a way to get themselves in reason with the Decepticons. Ultra Magnus tries to do that, but he gets captured, tortured badly. The Autobots try to fight against the Decepticons, and it's just pure lackluster stuff. Magnus gets killed and releases the Alpha Trion protocols, which go to the scavenger named Bumblebee, who's not really an Autobot, doesn't want to be with the Autobots, but then he supports them when he meets Alpha Trion. Blah blah blah, betrayals with Impactor and Jetfire, blah blah blah, Allspark adventures, and they go off in space at the end.
Hooray!
But now let's talk about the characters themselves, because the story itself was okay, but a little bit repetitive, but man, the characters drag it out so badly. I mean, Optimus Prime, okay, I get what they're going for. They want to try and make him a sort of doubtful character, although it is ironic that people bitched about Superman in BVS, where he wasn't quite as perfect. But nerd culture is perfectly fine with Optimus Prime being this doubtful motherfucker in the series.
Interesting. That's a good comparison.
Does that sound right to you? I mean, it's nerd culture we're talking about. They'll eat up anything that's like.
No, you're absolutely right. It's either one thing or another with them.
Yeah, and Optimus Prime was just all like, we have to reason out. We cannot sign the peace treaty. And we'll get to all these sounds. Megatron, I think, was the best part of it, simply because he's entertaining. Though I will say that he does sound dull as shit. He has the same sort of monotone voice. He's like, I'm gonna change the war once and for all. And he does it so slowly. Ultra Magnus, well, he dies at the end. He's super doubtful as well. Little One, I think, is a bit of a prick or a cunt to Optimus. She's always the mother hen sort of character, and she's always like, why do you have to keep on doing this, Optimus Prime? I mean, never mind the fact that you're Autobot leader and we can always hear you out. Or never mind the fact that I can do anything myself. Why am I still listening to you? Jetfire was a Decepticon, but then he joins the Autobots. Starscream is himself. Pretty much some characters are what you'd expect from G1, whereas some of the more uncommon guys like Impactor, who in the comic books was a wrecker, or for like at least in the Marvel comics, he was a wrecker. In IDW, he later became a wrecker after being a miner, as well as friends with Megatron. But here he's a full-on Decepticon, and he doesn't work well for me. And like,
okay, so what about though the technical aspect? Because I've heard mixed things.
for the animation,
Yeah.
well, we'll cover the voices first, because most of the voice acting in this show is just really bad. You ever watch stop motion where people try to do all these voices, but it's just some sort of teenager that tries to sound tough, but he doesn't?
That's how you would see it.
And that's pretty much it. Like, he's barely there. Like, or the voice actors aren't really there. They're just super flatline. I mean, it's mostly just characters with huge pauses as they talk, lack of emotion, and nothing but just
what do you expect?
the lack of escalation.
Yeah, they are robots. I think
That,
it's-
that
Yeah,
yeah, that is
robots.
true.
That's okay, they're robots, but they're alien
The
robots. And most franchises I've seen, the voice acting has been very distinct. Like,
Okay, Autobots roll out.
I mean,
Like-
yeah.
like
If
you'd
we're
expect-
talking about the Transformers movies, I mean that Optimus voice, like that's just
Oh.
Optimus. I mean,
Bro, that was
Even
so
outside
good.
of the movies,
Peter
like,
Cullen, right?
yeah, but even outside of the movies, Optimus was great to hear. Like, it's always exciting when you hear him say, like, Autobots, roll out. When you have a Megatron who's all like, even in death, there's no command but mine.
Okay.
Or you got stuff like, that Count, who's all pretty much, good old John Goodman. Oh, hey, Crosshairs, here's a gun for you to use. Like, voice acting matters
Really?
to make the series interesting for any cartoon or any similar thing like a video game or characters that aren't seen physically. Like, can you imagine what it'd be like if everyone didn't sound as interested in other cartoons?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
Like-
especially if it's animation. I mean, you gotta have good voice actors. They're one of the reasons that make you intrigued and want to keep watching the show.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
Absolutely.
like example.
Attack on Titan, Tobes, right?
Yeah.
Just the emotion, and there you go. Like,
Even in the English dub, I mean, both
right?
very talented. Yeah,
I
it's fundamental.
Like, I've not seen much of Attack on Titan, but I can imagine that they at least try to sound interesting. Where they'd say stuff
do.
like, alright, we've had enough of these Titans. It's time we send them back to hell and show them who's boss of this world. Or something
yeah,
along those
exactly.
lines.
It's just like when something bad happens, it's like the character reacts that way. It's like he's like devastated. It's like you can
Yeah.
see it. Like you feel for the character.
Yeah, and they're not always like,
And
you
you
have
just
no
don't-
idea what happened that day.
Yeah.
Or they're not like,
yeah,
They're not
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
the
it's like,
Titans took
oh.
away everything from me.
Dude, you're doing this from the beginning of the show.
I
It's
know.
almost alike.
So yeah, War for Cybertron's voice acting sucks. And
All right.
not because it's dull, but because it fails to keep characters interesting compared to Beast Wars, the Unicron trilogy, even though that had like dubbing issues. Animated, Prime, RD15, Cyberverse, the movies, even G1 had decent voice acting. Like I can recognize the characters. Why? Because they all sound
Question.
distinct.
Question for you.
Yes,
Have you seen the Transformers Prime show as well, correct?
yes, and that's
All right, so
that's a TV show that I think does a better job of being dark, but still compelling compared to War for Cybertron. Because
okay, I'm just looking here, and you said the voice acting sucks, and it's the guy who voices Optimus in Prime is the same guy who voiced him in the movies.
correct.
So I'm interested as to why he didn't come back and voice him for War for Cybertron.
I'll get to that
I
in a
think
bit
that's interesting.
because there's a lot to unpack regarding why he's not in this show. Although he was in another War for Cybertron, but that was a video game, and surprise, surprise,
Okay.
the War for Cybertron video game was good. But yeah,
Maybe that's the key
First time-
then.
like,
First time I thought that it was related to the game, but then I saw that it's not. It's like they're separate. Nothing related,
the War for
no.
Cybertron game has specific
What?
aesthetics and is part of the aligned universe with Prime and Rescue Bots and
Yeah.
all that. The cartoon, on the other hand, looks like the toys that were released in the Generations line.
Interesting. And this is going to be a trilogy from what
Yes.
I'm looking at right now,
Yes.
correct? So that
Oh,
was
yeah.
just like the first
Chapter.
third.
Yeah, and said first third was not that great for me. But like,
Okay.
all in all, the voice acting in this series sucks real bad, and it also annoys me that a character like Impactor was supposed to sound like a tough guy, you know, like Joe Ironhide or a macho man of sorts.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
I was watching
maybe you know that there's a lot of parts of the war, and maybe the voice acting maybe in a different countries better than the original.
Perhaps.
Something happens.
Japan had pretty decent voice acting for their series. Although I don't understand the characters, I do understand that they have different tones. And weirdly, even though Peter Cullen does not return for the English version of War for Cybertron, the Japanese dub has the Japanese voice actor of Optimus from the original
The Japanese voice actor.
Yeah, from the original cartoon, as well as the Japanese dubs of the movies.
Interesting. Well, maybe, schedule problems? I don't know.
Well, that's not it, and I'm about to talk about this now, but Peter Cullen and Frank Welker aren't in the War for Cybertron cartoon because it mostly comprises of non-union voice actors.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Now, what are your opinions on non-union voice actors? I want to know, personally.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. Okay.
What are you guys' thoughts on it?
I mean, I'm not completely in that world, so sorry, I need to skip that one.
Here's my 2 cents on it all. I feel that non-union voice actors work well for smaller projects, but I don't think they're the of-all, be-all method of replacing union actors, especially for something as big as a franchise as Transformers. A similar TV show named Cyberverse has non-union voice actors, but at least they understand that because they want to go for more of a budget route, whereas this TV show looks like it's supposed to be a big thing, yet they don't have Peter Cullen or Frank Welker.
Match 20, y que quizás ha sido el mejor profesor que han tenido.
What was that?
Sorry.
There is another one?
No.
There's another person?
Another host? Sup?
New host.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'm looking up stuff right now about it, and a lot of people are saying the exact same thing you are, where just the voice acting was awful. Everyone tries to sound like a tough guy.
Yeah, and I think Gary Chalk, who voiced Optimus Prime in the Unicron trilogy, as well as Optimus Primal in Beast Wars and Beast Machine, said a similar comment.
Mm-hmm. Really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, interesting that they wouldn't, yeah. You'd think with a big franchise like Transformers, they would keep it, because that's also, I would think, a staple of the series. These voice actors, they play much of an important part.
Of course. Like, Rooster Teeth wants to go cheap.
Yeah, that's stupid. That was just a dumb decision by them then.
Yeah, like, I'm okay with the Cyberverse cartoon, which is made for kids, but still better than this garbage. I'm okay with them having, like, different voice actors. Jake Tillman voiced Optimus Prime, who also voiced him in this cartoon. And, I forgot the other guy's name, but he voiced Megatron in Cyberverse. They're not Peter Cullen or Frank Welker, but they sound worlds better in Cyberverse than they do in War for Cybertron.
Gotcha.
Like, in Cyberverse, Jake Tillman tries to sound like his own guy when he's voicing Optimus, whereas here he sounds like a poor man's Peter Cullen from a dull stop-motion series made by an edgy 13-year-old. I can't wait for all the stop-motion people that have done work before me to shit on my work when I do my voice acting of my stuff. Here we go with that, boys. But
they should hire you, man. You do a better job just by messing around in this voice chat.
Yeah, I know. The voices have been on, like, really good, I can say.
I gotta give you a lot of thanks, fellas. Like, all that matters more is just practicing stuff, doing plenty of takes, and trying to make sure your tone sounds right. Which Cybertron, the War for Cybertron cartoon, does not do right. And that's
so
a shame.
You would, like, everyone just sounds like a tough guy, basically, and you think it was like almost like a phoned-in voice. And like they just really didn't care.
And some of them sound too similar to one another. Like Impactor sounds like Jetfire, who sounds like Starscream.
Yes. Yeah, you can't have that.
Optimus Prime sounds like Ultra Magnus, who sounds like Ratchet, who sounds like another depressed, dark and gritty Autobot. By the way, I laughed when Ratchet was all like, I'm involved with your war, but I want nothing to do with your faction. Even though I'm wearing it on my belly button. Wait, what's a belly button?
Zoinks! Okay.
Like
Crossover with Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
shit.
man.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
Shaggy.
Frank Welker was one of the Scooby-Doo voice actors, and he's not in this cartoon. I think Don Mezek, the original Ratchet voice actor, was involved with Hanna-Barbera stuff before he did the G1 cartoon, but he's sadly gone. Robert Foxworth, the other guys who voiced Ratchet and animated in Prime, and Robert Foxworth being the guy that voiced movie Ratchet, they're my favorites. And this War for Cybertron guy just sounds weak.
All right. So overall, you definitely would not recommend it.
Yeah, like the voice acting is another problem, but then we got to the animation.
Yeah.
And oh boy, where do we start with the animation? Okay, first
Really,
of
not
all,
good either.
yeah, like first of all, they try to base their models on the toys. Like, are they trying to be big and expensive, or they're trying to like cut down on the budget by using the cat files?
Okay, so that's basically a bad call.
Like,
Very
I
bad
get what
one.
they're going for, but it doesn't look interesting. It just looks like someone made like a shading to their stop motion instead of actually making new models.
Yeah, true.
And
It
the
feels like, okay, this is, well, you know, maybe for a kid it's like, okay, I saw a different design from this movie, but now when I see that, it's like I don't get too much interested in this because I really like that design, but then I see that and I don't know.
like what
Could
I'm trying to say
happen.
is that they just make the characters look too toy accurate, and they don't even try to make them look like they were built from scratch. I mean, the thing
I can
about
see what you mean. They look
Like-
like they're the exact same thing. It's like
Yeah.
you
like
can't see like all the inner mechanisms of like in Prime, I would say.
But
Yeah.
Seven,
Yeah.
you don't understand, Seven. This is for you to like relive your childhood. You don't get it.
Yeah.
the
It's all for
problem is
that.
though is that I've seen a lot of Transformer stuff, and like I'm just talking about this as someone that wants to like learn how to animate stuff, and you gotta make a model from scratch because scratch model, like making the model from scratch is a lot better than copying a CAD file and pasting it on there. Like certain things aren't meant to be animated, like the mouths, they look very strange. They have this dull surprise look to them. There's no real variety in their expressions, with a very few amount of exceptions. The waist,
So
when the waists move, it's all flexible instead of using their waist swivels. And they left in stuff like the 5mm ports and the blast nubbins, which is a feature of the Siege line, and even kibble that would normally not belong on a Transformer in real life, but would be on a toys, like Chromia's backpack or Optimus Prime's truck eyebrows.
Okay, I'm using my imagination completely, and I already find that pathetic.
Like
do you have more of a problem with how they ended up looking or the animation itself?
how they ended up looking is just a big problem. Because
Okay.
I'd much rather they try to use models from scratch instead of copying the models and poorly rig them to make them animate. Like, if you build a model from scratch, you can easily make it look like it's meant to animate, like Beast Wars. Okay, they based their models off the toys, but they're able to modify them immensely to make them cleaner, to make them more expressive, and to make them feel brand new. Whereas stuff like Energon or Cybertron, cartoons for the 2000s, use the toy designs too literally, and they end up looking bad. I mean, Cybertron was the first cartoon I've seen from the franchise, but I gotta admit and say that the animations from there are very stiff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm looking at it. now, and I can see what you mean. I gotta say, the animation looks really interesting, but the character designs, as you've said, they really do just look like they took the toys and slapped them in the animation.
Yeah,
It feels like
if I wanted
strange.
to-
To be honest.
like if I wanted to use the toys, I'd do a stop motion. If I wanted to make it all CGI,
Yeah.
I want to take like make a like a model, basically. And
They just all look really bulky, and
yeah, we need to
They all-
streamline them a bit. Like give
Yeah.
them some like cheat a bit if you want. Like take some liberties, like remove Optimus's backpack. Make Jetfire look a little less weirdly proportioned. Give Starscream some nicer wings.
It's all in the details.
It just
But
sucks that
yeah,
the
I
anim-
mean,
Details made the greatness.
the characters also need to fit the universe, the world they're in. I don't know, how do you find that aspect?
Well, that's not what I'm mostly worried about. But like as a result of them not being rigged properly to animate for a cartoon, the fights look awkward in a way. Like they're not super stiff in terms of the fight sequences. I might have contradicted myself, but I swear when they're fighting, it mostly looks like they're just crouching in a pre-pose and trying to point their weapons, or when they're punching at each other. It just feels very like non-existent. Like, was I supposed to see them punch, or was it supposed to be like them doing a preset animation instead of actually making them look like they're moving properly?
Yeah. Well, this is a problem mostly with 3D animation. It doesn't have too many liberties, I think, nowadays, especially if it has a limited budget.
Of course.
Yeah.
You have some complications.
The sad thing is that this cartoon, I know they call it an anime, but let's be real here, this is not an anime. This is a cartoon created in the US. I know it's got a Japanese studio, but that doesn't mean it's an anime.
No,
like,
it's
it's
like
just-
people who
this-
call Avatar an anime. You're
Like,
wrong,
it's just
sorry.
a term. Exactly. It's just a way to get people's attention by saying stuff like, "Hey guys, we know you hate cartoons. We know you guys think that all cartoons have like fart jokes or morals these days. So anime is a much better gimmick, and it's not."
Yo, remember when anime used to be so criticized and look like, what the fuck is that? And nowadays it's like, yeah, anime, so cool, so
Right.
bad.
Like, hey guys,
So
how do you do,
different.
fellow
What
kids?
happened with the world?
Like it's like
I
how do
mean,
you
it
do-
evolved. And hey, who knows? Maybe for the chapter 2, they'll take this criticism and change it. It's a trilogy, so who knows?
They're
see.
really
Anything
right.
can happen, right? I
We'll
mean,
see
I
at
guess
this
the
point.
voice actors probably won't change, but
Well, bad news. I'm pretty sure they're still going to keep the same animation models for the
Yeah.
cat files, and it's especially bad too because the Earthrise toys. I'm not sure if you've seen those, but they require parts forming, or some. Like Cliff Jumper requires it. RC requires it. Trailbreaker requires it. And certain proportions don't look quite right. Like Optimus Prime's chest on the Earthrise figure sticks out a bit more, whereas in the Siege version it's perfectly normal. And Earthrise Prime's arms are a little too short compared to Siege Prime.
Yeah.
And it's certainly going to be interesting to see how they're going to try and make those models animate, because they didn't do a good job here. And it's weird too because Bumblebee, Alpha Trion, and Elita 1 have models made from scratch, so why can't everybody else?
Yeah. I don't think what even the relationship between Transformers and 3D animation is.
Well, for Beast Wars it was pretty good. It's dated, but for what it was back then, Beast Wars was done nicely. Beast Machines may not have like nicer designs, but the animation feels a lot smoother and more expressive than Beast Wars. Energon and Cybertron, the anime from 2004 and 5, their animation's not so hot. Transformers Prime, on the other hand, is just gorgeous. And get this, the same animation studio that made Prime made this cartoon.
oh, so what the fuck happened then?
All right. Like, I'm not sure if it was just new people involved with the series or a new direction they wanted to go for the show, but it really sucks that a cartoon made 10 years ago looks, feels, and animates a lot better than this, which feels super stiff and super lackluster.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, what I perceive also is lack of direction, definitely.
And even the fight scenes were pretty bad. I mean, I already mentioned how, like, the fights, when it comes to them, like, punching each other or getting in a battle sequence was weak, but the battlefields when they're, like, fighting in Cybertron, shooting each other, just feels super flatlined in a way. It's like, oh no, we gotta shoot back, pew pew, bang bang.
Bang,
Like,
bang. You're
there's
dead.
not enough.
That gets so tiresome.
Like, I'm not expecting them to be like the movies where it's a lot more crazy, but can they at least
Well,
be
you
like?
know, well, the baguette, you know, is like the big difference in here.
Of course,
So you get
but like, can we at least get like some sort of more fluid animation or more crazy shooting sequences? Like, I swear, when they shoot, it just feels like there's no real impact on the shots they make or the explosions.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Cyberverse, again, like a TV show made for kids, has better battlefield animation than this, where you can definitely tell that there's a lot of people there. It feels very exciting. It's very tense. Sure, it's like each episode's like 11 minutes, whereas these are 22 minutes. But you get intensity from that series and not in War for Cybertron.
The 6 episodes is quick for 24 minutes each episode.
Yes. Yeah, it feels super dragged out because of the tone, where all the characters do that same sort of dull, slow talking and moping and all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, War for Cybertron, man. I do not recommend War for Cybertron whatsoever. It tries to be a cartoon that appeals to nerd culture that thinks G1 but dark and mature is going to win them over, but it just outright sucks.
Tries to win over the anime fans too, it sounds.
I don't think the anime fans would give a shit because they want their stuff to be all sorts of like Japanese and very fancy. But
Is it originally dubbed in? It is dubbed in Japanese, right?
Yes.
Or dubbed in English.
it's made in the US, dubbed in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like how the old Transformers cartoon from G1 was. Yes,
yeah.
animated in Japan, but the episodes were written and recorded in the US.
Gotcha.
And the same
Okay.
applies to Beast Wars, Beast Machines, partially the Unicron trilogy because Hasbro made the concept, whereas Takara did the animation. Animated was written in the US, same for Prime, RID 15, and Cyberverse, and this cartoon as well.
Alright.
And that pretty much covers War for Cybertron. Just stick with the video games. Stick with the video games, they're a lot better.
Oh.
And speaking of video games,
Well,
what are your guys' history with video games?
I mean, it's like first. I think the better question is like, what type of games are people like? Do people like playing more online? I'm not a fan of all the online games. I prefer a game with like a really good story, and yeah, like God of War, I would say is a really good example. The newest one,
okay.
I thought that was just an achievement.
I agree.
Like, it blew me away. And then again, Last of Us Part 2, we definitely have to talk about. I don't know if you guys have played that.
I've not, but we like to share your thoughts at some point. Well, I'm pretty sure like there's some people that I know that like the game, even though they're gonna have to like explain why and not just try to trash anybody that doesn't like it. I mean, as someone that's never played the first game, I don't understand why people like it or hate it. I'm just gonna say stuff like, look, I'm no simp.
There's a clear reason why people are pissed off, and I get it, but like they just hold on to all that anger, and like they don't let the game like.
If I'm allowed to, I could sum it up in my own way.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for anyone unless you guys are okay with that. But...
No, not exactly
Yeah,
that way. I was talking more like sum it up in the way that for me as a video game, it's definitely a masterpiece, but as a cinematic experience, which it's not the objective of the game of all games, you know, but it's pretty lackluster in that perspective. But I think as a video game itself, it is definitely one of the best in the newer generation.
Yeah,
I
that's
personally feel that like a lot of video games try to go for a bigger but better story route. And
I mean,
people
there's
to,
the
like,
whole AAA games are becoming so much more popular now, and they have even said that like they don't even think in the future that AAA games might be like they might start having to cost more money because they're getting harder and harder to make.
Yeah,
like,
you know, the graphics or also the story they want to make.
Exactly.
You know, all the
like
points,
what I want most for a video game is just the motivation, nice gameplay, and motivation to complete the game or want to make my money worth of it is important. You know, like Easter eggs and graphics can be a secondary matter, but for me, I just want a great experience from a video game.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was looking for. Last of Part 2, and again, it's a long game. I'll say that too, but you can't deny those graphics. There's some of they're just. It was like watching a movie. I was like, oh my god.
it was incredible.
And the gameplay is fun. I will say it gets a little old at points, but I don't know. I feel like the story they were trying to tell. It's just there could have been a better way to do it. Like there's a clear problem with it, and
I understand it though. The business is not meant for storytelling.
Yeah.
So they don't have professional storytellers. They do have some achievements, obviously, where they do it great.
I
think so.
I think from these AAA games though, I would expect a really good story because I feel like that's like a main focus
it's still not it's still not Hollywood level.
I don't think that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. You don't have professional storyteller.
No. You have a good enough story though. I mean, because there's more to just the story in a game. I mean, you're actually playing the game. You're not just watching the entire thing. So
that's why
keeps you interactive.
And that's kind of like why I'm not so happy with a lot of video games nowadays, where it's just all people saying stuff like, our games are better because of all these nice graphics. But I just want to feel like I'm involved, you know?
Exactly. That's what I look for in a game.
You know, like people tend
if
to
they can sink me into like the atmosphere, I get intrigued by what's going on. Like I want to go and complete more missions. That's what I look for. So when I mean, Fortnite, I guess is the best example. It's like, it's fun. I just don't get how so many people just can do it over and over.
Like what matters most in that game is just the experience. You want to feel like you're having a great time with your friends. Whether it's taking them down.
Well,
I don't think that game would nearly be as popular if it wasn't. You weren't playing with your friends, because I think that's the big thing that game has is like that it's you can play in the groups and that's what people
like this new game Fall Guys. So stupid, actually close to bad, but it's still you're playing with friends, so you don't care.
I don't think I feel like if I ever try that game, I'm gonna have anger issues. It looks so frustrating.
Sometimes it's like many people talk about it. Aside from one tweet from the account itself, where it talks about how people are treating it like trash.
It's apparently they can just pick you up and then put you over the side. It's like I want to play it, but I feel like I'll rage so hard.
Sometimes it's like the impossible
game. The only thing that matters is just play and enjoy. It's like you don't need high graphics or something
No, that's what people get wrong all the time. Now because we have those better graphics and stuff, it's like they just look past the actual gameplay sometimes.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
it's so
just like,
sad.
oh, these graphics are just not good. And it's like, yeah, who cares? There's a really good game there, though, still.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for example, now I'm playing Cuphead, as you know,
Yeah,
I shared
Yeah.
with you. Bro, it's an amazing game. You know,
Cuphead is an amazing game.
Yeah, you know, honestly, well, I lost too much. You know, guys, you see all my record of fails, but you know,
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I really enjoy to play this because it's a nice experience. You know, to see all that, you know, all the styles from that time. You know,
Yep.
it's really amazing.
Yeah, no,
It's really amazing too.
I mean, they hand drew all those
Yeah.
animations. Like, that's
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it
the
just
style
it
similar
shows.
to the
and it
likes of
looks-
the old-fashioned cartoons, what you expect from like Mickey Mouse and all that. But that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
true,
That's like,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that was part of the purpose of the game too, was to bring you back to those times.
Yeah,
That's what it looks
and,
like.
And they really made that well. Yeah, it was amazing, man.
I even
And another
miss those
Great thing
animations.
about it's like that game can be frustrating, but like not frustrating. It has the perfect balance of like not wanting to stop forever, but like you're still
Oh, really?
frustrated, but like enough that you come back.
It has the balance of
encouraging you.
I do not want to
Encouraging you to
destroy
go
my
back.
console, but
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah, it's like
I would
encouraging you
say
to
a
go
good
back to it, basically.
example. Have you guys ever played Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice?
no, but I
No.
heard a lot of things.
Yeah,
hear
it
about
was
it.
not an easy game.
Yeah.
It took a long time to get the hang of, but
Mm.
again, I was angry at that game. But
Well, you
It's
have Dark
like-
Souls.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
literally Ninja Dark Souls, I would say.
Yeah.
It was the same as that Star Wars one too, where they did a Fallen Order. They did like a Dark Souls type thing with that.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I thought that was a good idea. I actually enjoyed the game too. But I don't know. Yeah, I personally, for me, I'm definitely more of a story-driven type of
Okay.
person when
Yeah.
it comes to games.
Well, I expect a lot
Rather
of
than,
like a balance between everything. I mean, I want my gameplay to be great. I want the story to be reasonable. I want the
Exactly.
I want the essence of the game to be encouraging, and the graphics, well, whatever style they're going for, make it fit the standards of the console.
I honestly, yeah, like right now for me, graphics are just like a bonus. Like if they're good, then awesome. But it's like they don't need to be that good. If like there's a good game there, then like that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Like I mean, I still go back to like all these old games that like just have the worst graphics now. I mean, like if you compare like Injustice 2's graphics to Injustice 1, like there's a huge difference. But Injustice 1,
already looked
Yeah.
bad.
exactly.
yeah, the animation
Yeah.
Back
is
in
so
the days,
weird.
it already looked like inferior.
It's,
But I still love it.
ridiculous. It's just like I used to think those were the best graphics, and now it's
Yeah,
like, oh my god,
yeah.
what was I thinking?
Like, what
Yeah,
the hell is
pretty
this,
funny,
man?
man.
I was like, wait a minute. What?
Still, though, like I understand what's going on. I mean, it's just one of those things that people sort of talk about that matters in a video game, just graphics. But like me personally, I can always go back to an older game for the PS1 or SNES or N64 or PS2, and
Well-
still love a lot of it from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like-
in my case, I'm not too much related to retro games. Well, my first console maybe was the Game Boy Color. That I had many games right there. But
Very
it's
nice.
like I have my Game Boy Color in my room, but it's like really special because I really enjoyed all that time that I played with the games. That I lost many of the titles, but I got like three of them maybe. That
You know
was
what?
my first console game console.
I think
My first console was the PlayStation 2, and I got a lot of memories for that. Like, graphics, if they hold up, are a bonus, but what matters most to me is just the gameplay itself, the
Yeah.
premise encouraging you to complete the game, and the overall experience. Like, Midnight Club 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and sure, there's like a new Need for Speed game or a new Drift game coming out, but Midnight Club 3 means a lot more to me because it's encouraging to play. It wants you to prove the other racers that you're the best. On top of that, you got stuff like great music. The gameplay itself is very crazy, but still very possible to win.
For sure, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I think also music is a very important aspect. I think back in the day, the music was more fun, and not in the way that most critics say fun, but just.
No, I mean, back in the day, it was like music was always had that like retro, like video game sound.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, we can actually have real good music, like instrumental stuff in there. And like you just look at how the old Doom music sounded, and then they just updated it, and now it's like, wow.
Yeah. It's heavy metal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
for example, the soundtrack of all the soundtrack of Cuphead is amazing, bro. Truly, man. Something
like music, no matter what sort of like music is made from no matter what time period, it's also gonna stick with you too. I mean, the music from Super Mario 64 sticks with me to this day, whether it's the Castle, Bobble and Battlefield, Jolly Roger Bay, especially the Bowser levels.
It can be it's like part of the experiences, the music. Like gets you into it. It like prepares you for like if something suspenseful is gonna happen. Like if you play a horror game, like sometimes there's no music and then there's this creepy music leading you up to like, I think Resident Evil is the best example probably.
It's a good compliment. It's a good compliment. You know, it helps you to feel like, you know, sadness or maybe
it immerses you in the experience. Like I mean I played the Resident Evil 2 remake, and it was so terrifying. It was like I'd open a door and I would never know if that like big ass motherfucker was gonna be behind there and just take me out. Mr. X.
It's incredible. It's incredible how music can make you feel all the things that it really makes the experience like really great. That's what you want to. That's what you want to feel when you play something. Well, depending on what you want to play, or I don't know.
I would go with like God of War again. Like, just the music in that, like the operatic section, just it's like that's Kratos' theme. Like you know that, like if that's it, you know that's what it is. Like it's a staple of what makes the game. It's been passed down from the other 3 games, and even though this one's different, it's still like the same thing. And they even added, like they changed it a little bit just to change it from like Greek to Norse, because they're in the whole Norse mythology now. But it so much goes into all of this, and it's just crazy how it all comes together in the end. I mean, the fact that we don't even like for these AAA games, it's like this is all done using motion capture. Like there's actually people doing all these actions we see in these cutscenes.
More
like it's no
they
longer
make
just
it look nice and smooth.
Yeah, I know, and it just shows.
Like
I'm
you gotta make
blown
sure that
away
it looks
by it.
right, because as we talked about with Cybertron, you gotta make sure your models are rigged for proper animation.
Exactly.
Even if it's something that's not made from motion capture, it's still got to look pretty good, because like, I don't know if you guys see a lot of like fan-made videos using Mario in CGI, like Source Filmmaker or Blender. Like
Mario is like, just his own animation, and it's always just so well done. It's like I mean, Mario Odyssey, that animation was ridiculous.
Because the animation was rigged specifically for character expression. As well as
and it shows.
Like the model
totally
doesn't clip.
shows.
By contrast, Source Filmmaker or Blender, when people make models from there, they make their animations feel janky or broken. Looking at you is Super Mario like SMG4. SMG4 being the YouTube channel that makes a lot of these funny parodies of Mario, but what matters most is making your stuff look right. No janky models, no weird mouth movement. Make it nice and smooth and make sure none of the assets clip into each other.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I get what you mean.
And the last thing we can talk about is replay value. I mean, you want to go back to a video game years later after you beat it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like when the first for these story-driven games, the first time you play it, it's like a once in a lifetime thing. It's like you don't know what's gonna happen. You're on the edge of your seat the entire time, and then you go and it's like that's a main part of the first experience. But then when you have this game still and you go back and replay it, it depends how long it's been, but like you still remember stuff, but more replay value requires on the actual gameplay itself. And that all just depends on, is the gameplay fun, and do you want to like go back and keep playing? And that's what determines a good game to replay. Like I've replayed the Arkham games so many times.
I was about to say that.
Exactly. I think that's one of the best examples. It's just, you're just Batman and you're just going around beating people up. You got all his it's corny, but those games do make you feel like Batman. They do a great job of it.
Like it's just the scope as well as the experience. You want to revisit the experience that matters. Like too many games nowadays, they just don't want you to revisit it. They just want you to like go through one gameplay and you're done. And I don't think they even have like proper save files.
No, I know. It's ridiculous. It's like all that stuff is just gone now. Times have changed.
Yeah, reminds
like
me
there's
of,
no longer like checkpoints and stuff to let you go back and replay that certain part. It's like if you want to play it again, you gotta go back from the beginning and redo it all over again. There's fun in that, but I don't know.
Like when I was like two examples that come to mind for me are Frogger the Great Quest and Epic Mickey. The former doesn't let you revisit any levels. You have to delete your save file or make a new one. Whereas the latter, well, you don't delete your save file, but you don't get the option to revisit certain levels and see how things have changed.
Yeah. See, that's honestly the best example I could probably think of where you can just Lego Star Wars. Like
exactly.
You can do whatever you want.
The Lego franchise.
You can go into the levels. You can be whoever you want. You can replay the levels. You can
access certain areas that you've not seen yet.
Exactly.
There's just like that's what I love about the Lego games.
The Lego games, they're exactly I mean, Lego Star Wars. That was probably the first game I probably 100%ed completed. I think back in the day.
I did that as well, but my dad, technically Frogger the Great Quest was the first game 100%ed, but my parents were the first ones to beat that game.
What?
Yeah, my parents were the first ones to beat Frogger the Great Quest. I beat it later, and Lego Star Wars was the first game 100%ed. But what I love about that game is just revisiting it because
it's so fun.
Much, yeah,
and there's so much nostalgia. Just the fact that they don't talk and they're just mumbling. There's nostalgia there, and there's a lot amount of fun in there too. They give you a creative.
Yeah. It's all just the Star Wars universe filtered through the world of Lego.
Exactly. I think that's one of the best examples.
Yeah, that's what I love about.
I've said that's their best Lego game. I think that was the one that was done the best.
And that's what I love about Lego Star Wars 2, Clone Wars, Indiana Jones.
Clone Wars was great too.
Batman. Lego Batman 2 was great, but I gotta say that the dialogue sort of felt a little underwhelming.
It felt misplaced, right? I got what they were doing, and then they just took off with it, though, and that's what it is now. That's why I don't play the Lego games as much anymore.
It's just all pep talk, it's just quick talk. It's stuff you gotta be careful with this stuff. It's too Joss Whedon-y. we get
Yeah,
better
exactly.
dialogue? Like, we get like more motivating dialogue. Nothing that feels like it was taken from some sort of a fanfic made by a guy that goes to Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I will say though, I might have to pick up the new Lego Star Wars, all of them, the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
If they've redone everything, I'm a little curious to see what that looks like. I gotta say,
they have the option where you can have them not speak, which is fine by me.
yeah, they totally do, and that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be
Yeah, like-
just like the old days.
I understand what they're saying already. Like, I understand what they're doing.
I'm pretty excited.
Like, I
whenever
understand
that comes
these
out.
movies as much as I understand the dialogue.
Yeah, shut
What's
up,
that?
pretty please.
But
We
yeah,
don't want to hear your awful dialogue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, actually, Star Wars dialogue is perfectly fine, whether it's prequel or sequel or the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC superheroes have dialogue that just makes me feel like, are you guys supposed to be the DC universe filtered through Lego, or are you supposed to be like parodies?
I think it's a little different too, because with the Lego Star Wars games, it's like you know what you're getting into. It's just you've seen the movies and then you're just playing through the movies as levels.
Yeah.
With the Lego Batman games, they want to make their own thing, and the Lego Marvel, like, so they do their own thing, which is why I think they're not as well received as Star Wars, because it's different and it's like even the character, like, it's more kid friendly. Obviously, it's a Lego game, but
I like the first Batman game did a decent job. Of course, it had like no dialogue, but it felt like it was
exactly.
the same
That's
world.
why I enjoyed it. I really thought it's just like it was three stories, three main villains, and then it was like the same thing as Star Wars, and then they even had the thing where you could play as the villains in the villain level. I thought that was
Right.
really creative as well.
Yeah.
And going into Lego Batman 2 and 3, as well as the Lego Marvel games, it just feels like dialogue I've heard before. Where it's all like, sorry I'm late, fellas, or let's use your superpower for that thing, or whatever joke or cliche dialogue they have, and it's just super, like, dull.
Holy shit.
And we can't wait to share our thoughts on the Skywalker saga. Of course, I'm going to have one of you guys play the game with dialogue, and the other guys without it.
No, please.
You guys are gonna have to choose who's gonna do it. Rock, paper, scissors.
For what?
You guys are gonna have to play like rock, paper, scissors to see who's gonna like review the game with dialogue and who's gonna review the game without it.
Oh Christ.
We can do a real life battle royale inside that.
It depends. If they got like the exact dialogue from the movies, then maybe I can be okay with it. Just because, one, the prequel movies, all the dialogue in there is just like an absolute meme. So it's already perfect.
That's still pretty nice dialogue too. Like I can.
Oh yeah, no.
Pain.
I have definitely come around to liking the prequel movies after the Clone Wars final season came out. Oh my god,
man,
changed everything.
I feel much happier with the prequels and being a lot happier with them after feeling like I'm going to get nuked by OG fans.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I think hating the sequels now is like what is the big new thing. Everyone, I think, is like,
and I'm fine with it.
I was not a fan of the sequels either. The sequels, it's not.
They were cash grabs. There was no.
They were.
law.
They didn't even have the whole story planned out. They were like, all right, let's do one, and then okay, that did really well, shockingly. A Star Wars movie doing well. All right, let's make another.
I feel like we're getting off track again, but
I could talk. Star Wars has to be saved for another day.
Yeah, maybe like 1 year after the Rise of Skywalker in December, but we'll see how that turns out. Got to make a schedule. I'll be doing that after this video is uploaded. But yes, video games. We got to get a balance between graphics, story, encouragement, gameplay, and replay. And last but least, depending on if you know this franchise or not, Ren and Stimpy.
I've heard of them, but I'm not too familiar with them.
Well, to sum up, let me explain this. Ren and Stimpy is getting a reboot made by Comedy Central, and it's going to be a lot more adult-oriented. The same sort of people on Facebook that are going to say stuff like, my cartoons were totally better than yours, like all your cartoons are just stupid humor, even though Ren and Stimpy has stupid humor. But it works well because they're meant to be like that.
Was the show, like when it was originally on, was it ever like bordering the line of like adult comedy as well?
In a way,
Like,
yeah.
It was? Okay.
But it was
So
still
then
made
I
for
can-
kids. Like,
Yeah, I
it
can
was
see
something
then. All right.
like it's a crazy ass show. I mean, Ren's already like the sort of like easily irritated dude, and Stimpy is the dumbass.
Yeah, I'm looking at some images already, and it just looks like they're off of something right now.
Yeah.
Like, my
Yeah,
boy,
but
what
there's-
you guys just take?
There's a lot to
Exactly.
say about that reboot because the controversy about the author of
The creator.
that
The
series.
creator of the original
Yeah.
show, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get
Yeah.
my to talk more about that because I got a buddy who knows more about cartoons than I do, and I'm gonna invite him at some point.
Nice.
Well,
Okay.
it will be.
Yep. But honest to God, this reboot reminds me, ideally, of the previous attempt to bring it back, Ren and Stimpy, which involves around the adult cartoon party, and that was fucking atrocious.
I'm
Yeah,
not so
sorry.
familiar with that one.
Like, the problem is that it goes from humor that, it's like, oh yeah, I see what you're doing, Ren and Stimpy, to humor that's so blatantly obvious it's one-dimensional at this point. Like,
You,
you got
mean the adult version? Like
Yeah.
the one that came in 2000 and
adult version.
yeah.
They had a reboot from the series. Now there's another reboot.
Yeah,
But I
and
don't know if it's necessary about this.
yeah, we'll get there in a bit. But like, adult humor is okay as long as you know how to do it right. For example, the way it was done in the series Ren and Stimpy Adult Cartoon Party just did not work because it felt flat. And he's just like, oh look, like Stimpy is like jerking off, but he's using shampoo, and he's like jerking off or ejaculating on like a naked girl in the shower.
Yeah. You know, I have the same feelings with the new Tom and Jerry, let's say, animations. They feel so like
It's not the same.
shallow. It's the
Hey, one
movements,
note.
the creativeness, it's all gone, and that's the thing I fear about this new show. But I also want to see if they have the chance to bring again that magic. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, like, whenever they do a reboot or something like this, it's like, can they recapture the magic of what made the original so good? And
Mm-hmm.
But more
most of the
importantly,
time, it's like, no, they really can't recapture the magic.
more
because it
importantly,
was-
like
Yeah.
a more
I'm more
important
about
concern
this
would
series.
be like would they try not to be like something that would appeal to the people that think one-note jokes are funny?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be made for the people that want to hear like, or I think the same sort of jokes we get about the 2016 election are still funny to this day, or it's made for the same people that like Facebook humor.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting too, because I also think times have fucking changed.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
funny, what people think was funny back then, some people will get pissed off about it now.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
that's
Exactly.
true. Yeah.
It's just like,
Like it's no surprise that a lot of pansies out there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like what Steve Carell said about having an Office reboot. He's like, I just don't think the humor would fly nowadays. It's just
Yeah.
everybody gets triggered over the littlest thing, and
I mean, me personally,
that's
The
just the
Office
world we're
just-
living in.
I mean, me personally, The Office just doesn't appeal to me because it's like, oh, it's like, hey guys, we're just zooming in on people's faces and just reactions.
Yeah.
It doesn't really appeal to me that much. I lost interest.
Well, it's kind of with comment itself. You need to earn the pass, and it's crazy. But in entertainment, you need to earn that pass. For example, you have Ricky Gervais who can actually joke about cancer or can joke about pedophilia, and he has a pass because he earned it, and he's amazing. but if you're a newcomer, you need to adapt, and it's very difficult. With comedy, it's very sensitive.
Yeah,
That's why
no.
Yeah, you
don't
gotta make
get
sure
many-
it's done right. Like, don't just say stuff like, "Hey guys, look, cancer, 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 cancer," or don't be like what a lot of adult parody cartoons are on YouTube, where it's all like, "Holy shit, guys, look, the blue
Yeah.
Power Ranger said fuck in front of his friends," or "Oh look,
Yeah.
Barney touched a kid," and they make like a
Cancel the
10-minute
Blue
joke about
Power
it.
Ranger.
Like they make like a 10-minute gag of Barney touching a kid. That's just boring. Like,
Yeah, no.
remember when I told you guys about Uncle Al, the YouTuber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you
Like-
say though?
Not only does he do like god tier voice impressions, but he also does great skits. You know, like Squidward busting a nut, a No Nut November, or I think it was called No Squid November.
Nice.
SpongeBob and Patrick trying to appeal to Squidward and Christmas by making it all shitty. Ren and Stimpy ordering from DoorDash.
Cool.
Hughception, his voice impression of Hugh is just amazing, and the way he told Jimmy's past to Carl was great. Because they're in character. The voices are still in character. And the suggestive stuff is modified to specifically fit the humor that you'd expect from the series. Like,
Okay.
like Hugh wouldn't say something like in that video, like he wouldn't say, "Oh, I fucked your mom and now you're born." He was all like, "All right, Jimmy, it's time I tell you about the time of the story when you were conceived," and so on and so forth. Like, Ren and Stimpy can easily be like this unaligned cast of characters that react to anything, and they can make it funny instead of just trying to be all like, F Trump or F so and so. Like, it's flat, it's uninspired. You got to make it funny.
Yeah.
Don't just try to make it like
Yeah.
one-dimensional, basically.
So then you think there's a possibility for this to be good then? Is what you're kind of saying.
With
You
the
think
right
this
people,
reboot
yes.
has just because it's going to be more adult and
Like,
You know, well,
mention my
I
thoughts
think-
on, like,
I think it's that.
Yeah, go.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on, Fred.
no, yeah,
Go on, go on,
It's
Fred.
like if they, choose the right topics, to make that kind of jokes that are not for everybody. I think that's very important because nowadays, as you said, people are very sensitive about many topics. You can.
Yeah.
It's like now you can do what that series did in his moment. It's like no, many people will not accept that if they make jokes about cancer or whatever, that it's sensitive for the people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you gotta make it
Comedy.
land right. Like, if you're gonna go up against something or make fun of something, do it properly. Just don't make it this one-dimensional, boring-ass bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like comedy when it's made plausible and realistic. So
Yeah.
if you go under those terms, you can make very good jokes that are actually well developed. Under
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the main point. If it's well developed, no problem with that because many people will not accept everything, but maybe the public will enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, like if you're gonna go up against anything in the world, like make it seem like you're against everything. Like, don't just go up against one side. Like, I can imagine them making
Yeah.
fun of not just politics,
Yeah.
but also the way Gen Z acts with culture, like cancel culture or stuff like
That's
soy boys.
you know
Like,
you
they
know
kind
what
of
I
soy
think they
boys as
have
much
to
as
do
you
with
wanna,
this then? They just have to appeal to the right audience. They have to figure
Yeah.
out who this audience is going to be. And then if they can just do that humor for that audience, they got like another Rick and Morty,
Oh yeah.
something on their
Totally.
hands.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like the sequel to Pickle Rick, that being we're gonna get
Pickle
Pizza
Rick.
Ren. We're gonna get Pizza Ren or
Pizza Ren.
It's a red. Yeah.
There you go. See, like I think
Mango
that's-
Ren. Mango Ren, like, oh, Stimpy, down here. It just happened to me. I'm a mango. Gee, Ren, I guess that makes you Mango Ren. Like, he's like, I'm gonna eat you now. No, you idiot. But yes,
Oh god, that's
I
not the
wouldn't.
case.
I would not mind another Ren and Stimpy reboot if they make it worthwhile. They don't do the same garble that was the adult party cartoon version where it thinks it's all just sex jokes
Yeah.
and one-dimensional
Yeah.
or all the other stuff. Like, keep me interested. Don't just try to make it appealing to the one-dimensional sort of humor appealists. If that makes sense.
Did y'all watch Regular Show?
I
Yeah.
did. Like, that show's got good
Like-
humor in it too.
That show has good humor, and now they've made like a same creators. It's on HBO Max. They made Close Enough, which is like a more adult version of it.
I
and
watched it.
Oh.
It's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
like what a regular show adult version I think should have been, and I think they nailed it.
Exactly. They totally
Honestly,
nailed it.
Like so, if they can just do that here, I think
Personally,
they
I
can-
kind of prefer a regular show. Like, the fact that the regular show got away with so much stuff just feels a lot more exciting, like worthwhile.
Yeah. I mean, regular show's definitely the better show, but I mean, now we have this other show. Like I would call it like a spin-off of regular show almost.
Yeah.
It is
I
the
mean-
same creators, and it's like even the same voice actors too.
Okay.
Like,
but
the fact that regular show has a lot of stuff that didn't require it to drop F-bombs or be explicit with its content made me like regular show a bit more. Like, I understand what it's going for, and I feel that
regular show, yeah, it had
Yeah.
a good story too. I gotta say, they
I
really.
couldn't be too excited for Close Enough, but I am glad that there are some people that do like it.
The thing is with Close Enough, and I think we can compare it to regular show because the episodes were originally thought as 22 minutes long,
Mhm.
and they ended up being all cut to 11 minutes. So you're basically
true.
missing half of the story of an episode every single time. So I think it had more potential that it showed. I hope the second season just changes that.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
a shame. Complete shame.
But to sum up, Ren and Stimpy reboot, be entertaining. Don't be flat or one-dimensional. And don't be like the
No.
adult party cartoon.
No.
And that just about wraps up today's video.
It actually does.
Oh.
There we go.
Wow.
Well,
First one completed.
Fandom was a great experience overall.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we're getting the 2 games. We're also very happy that there's at least some sort of life right into the Black Adam movie, as well as Wonder Woman 1984 and the Batman, and of course Snyder Cut itself is just great to see. War for Cybertron, well, that's got issues. Maybe Earthrise and Kingdom will fix that, but we'll see. I am not a fan of that one.
No.
Our history of video games, well, it's nice to see that we all have like different point of views with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about some other stuff regarding video games in the other episodes. And of course, Ren and Stimpy. I may not be too excited for what we're gonna get with Ren and Stimpy, but if they can do it right,
Yep.
then I can appreciate them at least trying not to be like that awful adult party cartoon version. And
Please.
that wraps up episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm very happy to be here with Evie Dog, Freds, and Tobbs.
All right.
Yes, sir.
With all that said, guys, I hope we get to see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This has been
God.
Quantum Surge and his friends, Evie Dog, Freds, and Tobbs, signing off.